Hello, welcome to yogaru.ie. In this practice, we are going to be going through the Finding Calm sequence that you'll find on my website with the link below. And you can download the sequence and practice it with me, or you can just run through it with me. I will be hoping to keep it around the 30 minutes. You can practice this yourself, extend the practice by repeating some of the Surya Namaskars or some of the mini flows, or you can reduce it by eliminating or just doing a few of the mini flows. This article was all about the nervous system and how yoga affects the nervous system. So when we're in a state of stress, our body is ready for action, and it is sending all the blood out to our extremities, so the legs and the arms, the pupils dilate. We're ready for action. Unfortunately, because we're in this state of reaction, the blood flow to the internal organs is not optimal. So it's kind of like it deems digestion, reproduction, and all these other functions of the organs to be less of a priority in this state of alert, which works perfectly. And then when we address the situation that we deem to be urgent, the body then naturally flushes all those hormones out of the system and we come back to a balanced state. But if we are kind of slightly stuck in this state of stress, this perpetual kind of modern day stress, the hormones don't quite flush out of the system and we get kind of stuck in this not quite balanced state where the functionality of the organs are not working optimally. We're kind of left with a remnants of stress hormones in the system and we're not sleeping well. We all know sleep is the cornerstone for all health of all the systems of the body. So in the parasympathetic system, so basically it's the reverse of the sympathetic system in stress. It's where the organs are being optimally functionalized with the blood flow, our heart rate reduces, and everything is coming back to homeostasis, so the body always striving to be in balance. Yoga is one of the best ways to keep yourself or bring yourself into this parasympathetic nervous system. And it gets you to this state through the breath and the movement and also of this being conscious of the sensations of the body, and this consciousness of the breath, consciousness of the movement, all fabulous ways to bring the stress levels and all those hormones, stress levels down in your body. This flow is going to be about trying to find this calm through some nice repetitive flows, just giving your mind something very simple and repetitive to focus on, so that hopefully those kind of constant chatter of the mind starts to reduce and you start to feel a little bit calmer, which will eliminate the stress that we are all kind of feeling at the moment. You don't need any props. The only thing you might want is a blanket, which can be handy to sit on in some of our seating poses. We are going to start on our back. Now, the sequence actually starts with a few rounds of Viloma breath. I am not going to bring you through them. I'm going to go straight into the movement part. So when you're practicing this yourself, you lie on your back and you go through some rounds of Viloma breath, which is all explained in the article. So coming onto your back and hugging your knees in towards your chest. I'm just making some nice circles on your lower backs, just cupping a hand on each knee there, just letting the toes just fall in towards each other and just circling around on your back there. A nice massage for your lower back. If you find a little area that feels a little bit more tender, you can just roll forward on back on it like a little mini roll, mini massage. And then lengthen your right leg out, hold on to your left knee there, and just circling the hip there. So just doing one leg at a time. It's like you're stirring that bone in its socket there, just rotating it in all 360 degrees. So fabulous hip joints have got huge range of motion in them, although not as much as our shoulders, but great 360 range of motion in the hip. Then lengthen that right leg out, bring the left knee up, hold on to cup your hand on the hip, on the knee joint there, And just circling again in the left side. Nice again to place that left hand on the left hip, just trying to keep the hips on the ground and as quiet as possible here. It's all about the hip joint. And the lower leg just hangs down. And we're using the strength of the arm just to gently bring movement into the hip there. So we're not necessarily using the muscles of the hip, we're just kind of gently easing out any tension. And then hugging onto your left knee, reaching your right leg up towards the ceiling, making sure that you keep those hips down on the ground there. Inhale here, and then exhale, 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 gently bringing that right leg down towards the ground. Reach the toes away there. Inhale brings it up, and then we're going to exhale to the count of 3. So exhaling for 3, exhaling for 2, exhaling for 1. When you come to bottom, pausing your breath, reach that right knee up towards you, reach the left knee towards you, and the right toes away. One more time. Inhale, lifting the leg up, and exhaling for 3, for 2, for 1, pausing at the bottom, reaching in both directions, then inhale to bring it up. Swap sides now, holding on to the left knee, the right knee with the right, or with both arms, reach the left toes up towards the ceiling, make sure that the hips stay down on the ground so that you haven't started to tuck the belly there and lift the hips off the ground. Inhaling here, exhaling down, for 3, 2, 1. Pause at the bottom, reach the toes away, reach the knees up. Inhale to bring it up. Exhale for 3, for 2, for 1. Pause, reach. Inhale, last round. Exhale for 3, for 2, for 1. Pause and reach. Feel that nice stretch on the inner groin there. And then just inhale to bring it up. Place both feet on the ground, bring them at mat distance apart, and just windscreen wipe the legs from side to side, just letting the knees drop down any amount to the sides that suits your hips today, remembering that we're just still in our warm-up phase. And then rolling over to your right-hand side, bring your way up to the top of your mat and into tabletop position. So just taking a moment in your tabletop to make sure that you've got a nice long spine there, that you're nicely stacked like a table. So nice strong legs with the tables and your arms being another set of legs for the front of your table there, so that your wrists are stacked over your shoulders and that your knees are stacked directly over your hips there. Nice and strong foundation here. Lengthen just before we come into our cat cows. Find the nice natural curves of your spine. So you can bring your hand onto your lower spine there, your lower back, your lumbar, and feeling it dipping down and then lifting up and then dipping down at the top of your neck there. So even though we're reaching through the top of our head and reaching through our tailbone, we still have this lovely natural curve of our spine in our tabletop position. And then we're going to inhale, let the belly drop down towards the ground, the gaze comes forward, continue breathing while I give you some alignment cues. Just broaden through the collarbones there, have a sense of the shoulders reaching up and back towards the back of the hips there. Let the belly be nice and soft, it drops down towards the ground, but at the same time you still have a little bit of engagement of the pelvic floor there. And then exhale, just really gently drawing your spine up towards the ceiling. Feel the shoulder blades spread across your back there. Press into your hands to help them spread across your back. Feel the lovely arch through your back, your whole spine there, from the tailbone to the tip of the crown. The gaze comes slightly down, maybe kind of just a little bit past your hand there towards your knees. And then flowing with your breath, inhale, let the belly drop down and soften towards the ground. Gaze comes forward just a little bit, not all the way. And lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, navel towards spine, lifting the spine up towards the ceiling. Press into the hands, press into the knees and the tops of the feet. One more round. Inhale, belly drops down towards the ground. The gaze comes forward, put length through the back of the neck there now. Lift the pelvic floor, and then exhale all the breath out. Pause at the top here now, like you're draping over a bar. And then coming back to tabletop position, let's just take a puppy dog pose to lengthen through the spine there. So walk your hands forward. This one, you want to make sure that we're not walking our hips all the way forward with us. We want to keep those hips open and knees here. We're lengthening the arms forward and just coming down any amount. So if it's too much for you to bring your forehead down to the ground, you can rest your forehead on one of your arms, or you can pop your blanket underneath your forehead, or use a brick if you have one. And just feeling that lovely stretch through the shoulders there. Let your chest really open up towards the ground here, your heart center. Reach those hips back and the fingertips reaching forward here. Feel that lovely stretch in the armpits. Press into your hands, gently to come up, walk your hands back. Tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back, and find your way up towards the top of your mat. Okay, we are going to come through to demonstrate just the half Surya Namaskaras, which is indicated there on your sequence as a half Surya. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, folding down. Little bend in your knees if you need it. Inhale, coming up halfway. Press your hands into your knees here. Find your back bend in your Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, folding down. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Press into their feet. Keep your grounding even though you're reaching your fingers up. And exhale, hands down the midline of prayer position. Okay, we're going to step back into our first standing flow here. Inhale, reach the arms up high. And then exhale, step that left leg back into a high lunge with the front leg straight. We're going to come into our first flow here. So inhale here. Actually, I'm going to talk you through the two poses, give you some alignment cues, and then we're going to flow for 5 rounds with the breath. So your first pose is this high lunge with the front leg straight. So you're lifting up onto the ball of the back foot and then gently pressing the heel away from you here. And that will help you to really hug that left hip in towards the midline. You're also engaging this right side here. You're hugging both hips in towards midline. You're pressing into your feet. And that helps you to find your balance here. And then on our exhale, we come down into our high lunge. By just bending that front knee, soften your shoulders. Press out through that back heel. You might need a little softness to that left leg there, just to help you keep those hips nice and upright. Remembering always to soften those shoulders. That's the thing that will always try to come up when we're reaching our fingertips up. Okay, so we'll move with the breath now. Inhale here, and then exhale to bend any amount. Inhale, press into the foot to inhale and reach up. And exhale. And 2. Inhale to reach. Exhale, 3. Inhale to reach. Exhale, 4. Really hug that right hip in. Inhale, reach. Feel the activity as you move through that flow, particularly on the right side. Exhale to reach. Inhale one more time, and then exhale. We're just going to stand forward and move it on to the other side. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, step that right leg back. Straighten the front knee. So I don't need to demo this. And we're going to come straight into it. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bending. Press into that front foot now. Press out through that right heel. Inhale to reach. Soften the shoulders. Broaden through the collarbones. Exhale, bend, press. Hug that left hip in. Inhale, 3. And exhale. Inhale, reach, soften the shoulders, and exhale for last round. Inhale to reach, exhale, step forward to the front of your mat. Maybe take 1 breath into Tadasana. Shoulders slightly, or arms slightly externally rotated. Press into your feet here now, and with that grounding, trace through your spine all the way up to the tip of your crown. Find your long spine there. 1 round of Surya Namaskar, or half Surya Namaskar. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, folding down, little bend of the knees. Inhale, coming up halfway, remembering your back bend there, opening the collarbones. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, hands down the midline of prayer position. Second flow. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, stepping the left leg back. So we always go through the flow with the right leg forward first. Make sure that your feet are nice and hip distance apart just for balance there. Remembering all those alignment cues from our first one. hips lifting up and back, little bend in the back knee if you need to. And then for our next flow, we are going to do a start in the high lunge position, and then the knee stays bent. We're going to inhale here. We're going to really draw our navel in towards our spine. So think of the core as wrapping all the way around your waist. It's all the muscles, 360, like a corset around you here. We're going to be leaning forward, so we're really challenging the core a little bit. We're going to inhale, and then exhale really slowly. We're going to come into galloping horse. Press strongly into that front foot there. Now see, can you get a little bit of weight into that back foot here? Hug the outer hips towards the midline. Inhaling to come up, and then we're going to exhale forward. So just leave the arms down for a moment. We're going to go through this 3 times. It says 5 in your guide there. But we're going to go through it 3 times, and we're going to go through it with the breath. So we're going to inhale for 4, and we're going to exhale for 6. So really challenging the core, challenging those legs as well in this position. Inhaling for 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round. Inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift those hip bones up. Exhaling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands down. Step that right leg forward. Take a breath here. Inhale, reach the arms up, and bring it over to the other side. So step the left leg or the right leg back now. Find your nice strong high lunge here. Check those hip bones are level and lifting up. Little bend in that back knee if it helps you to bring those hip bones up. If you have a little bit of tension in the psoas muscles here, the hip flexors, it might pull the hip forward as you press out that heel. So find a happy balance between the two. Feet nice and wide on your mat here. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round. Inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling to come back up again, and just stepping that right leg forward, taking a breath into that. So see, can you just let the fidgets go, let yourself be nice and calm, nothing moving, just feeling for the sensations that evening up doing both sides gives you. One more half Surya Namaskara. Inhale, reach the arms up high, and exhale, folding down. Inhale, coming up halfway, hands to knees, reach the chest forward. Exhale, folding down. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, hands down the midline in prayer position. So I'm going to come into the final standing flow. There is a wide-legged forward fold there as part of the sequence, which is optional. We're going to go straight into our final flow here. Inhale, reach the arms up high. Exhale, hands down, midline in prayer position. I'm going to take it from downward dog and then step back to downward dog. You could just step straight back into this, but there's 2 ways of coming into your flows. One is from Tadasana and one is from downward dog. So this one, I'm just demonstrating how to come into your flow through downward dog. Inhale, reach the right leg up, press out through the heel, and exhale, step the right foot forward in between your hands. Now ground that left foot down. So get your feet into position that you're comfortable with before you even bring the upper body up, so that you have a little bit of wriggle room before you place all the weight of your body on your feet. Place right hand on right knee, start the left arm up and around to find your way into your warrior. So I'm going to talk you through this flow, and then we're going to flow with the breath. So the first pose is warrior. We're going to take an exhale here. Have a little check through your position of all your alignment. So making sure that you do the front heel to back arch alignment. That back leg is kind of at a 45-degree angle. We are opening the hips out to the side of the mat now. So we do that by squeezing the back of the hips there. They're the muscles that open our hips, they're adductors. And then the arms reaching either side as well. Shoulder height here. And then our next pose is going to be, we're going to transition into goddess pose. We're going to straighten the legs, pivot that right foot around, keep the arms extended into straight-legged goddess pose, I suppose you could call it. And then we're going to exhale into goddess pose. So we bend the knees, pivot the feet out at 45-degree angle, and come into our goddess pose, letting those hips become heavy. Remembering those hip bones again, they're lifting up and back. So just to demo it from the side, my hips want to do this because it's kind of easier to just come into this position. I want to press my feet into the ground and lift those hip bones up to get that stretch through the inner groin there. Okay, hands in prayer position. Then we're going to inhale, reach the arms up, parallel the feet there, and we're going to exhale, pivot that left foot to the back of the mat to come into our warrior left side. Have a check of the position of your feet here. Squeeze those outer hips again. So squeeze the buttocks muscles. Press strongly into both feet here now. And then we're going to inhale to come up. We're going to take goddess pose. Inhale to come up. And then pivot to the front of the mat again. So that's the full flow. You're flowing from the front to the back of the mat, which means you're taking both your warrior positions on the right foot, and then the left foot at the back of the mat. We're going to flow through it a few times just to help you to find your breath and to find that meditative flow. It's our final flow. And just as well, if my count of the breath doesn't suit you, although do try and keep your breath nice and slow, you can move through the 5 or 6 pose sequence in your own time with your own breath. So starting in warrior with an exhale. And inhale, pivot that right foot around, feet parallel. Exhale into goddess. Inhale, feet parallel. Exhale, left foot pivots to the back. Just keeping your gaze forward rather than adding the gaze into it. So inhale, pivot the feet around. Exhale, goddess. Inhale, exhale, warrior. Getting into the swing of it now. Inhale, pivot the feet. Exhale, goddess, hips heavy. Inhale, pivot the feet, the left foot to the back, and exhale, warrior. Inhale, and exhale. Inhaling, and exhale. We'll do one more flow to the back and back again. Inhale. Exhale, goddess. Inhaling. Exhale, back to the mat. Warrior. Inhale, straighten your legs. Exhale, goddess. Inhaling. And exhaling back to your warrior. Circle your hands around either side of your front foot and step it back to downward dog. Step forward to the front of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, press into your feet, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands down in the midline in prayer position. Okay, we're going to do our standing balancing poses now. Again, great for focus and concentration. And as we focus and concentrate, it kind of helps, again, to just clear away a little bit of the clutter of the mind and gets us feeling a lot more calm. So pour all your weight into your left foot there. We're going to do the right side first. Bend the right knee and either bring it to the inside of the calf or up to the inside of the thigh there. So we never press into the joint there. It's down on the calf or up on the thigh. Loads of options for the hands here. I find it nice sometimes to press my left hand on my left hip bone there, just to encourage that opening, and my right hand on my right knee. Press gently into both of them just to encourage the opening of the hips there. Also squeezing into the back of that right hip there to open that knee out to the side. And remembering it's more important to have the hips facing forward rather than that knee exactly out at a 90-degree angle to the side of your mat there. Or you can have the hands in prayer position at your heart, Or if you're finding your balance is with you today, you can reach your arms up nice and wide for a sunny day is nice. Breathing for 3. Breathing for 2. And 1 more breath. And then exhale with control, just gently bringing that right leg down. We're going to come straight over to the other side, optional there to add in eagle pose, Lukhasana. So bringing the left foot to the inside of the left thigh there, or bring the left calf, or bringing it to the inside of the left thigh. And just opening the hips out to the side there, press the left hand into the left knee, press the right hand into the right hip. Lengthening through the spine, so finding your stability through that standing leg before you start to think of doing anything with your hands. So pressing the hands to the midline, opening through the collarbones there, or bringing the arms up. Breathing for 3. Breathing for 2. Squeeze the back of those hips there now. Breathing for 1. And exhale with control, rather than just letting it flick down. Bring that left leg down. Okay, we're ready to come down to our standing sequences now. So we're going to take it down to the mat just through a malasana. So feet nice and wide, and the feet at a 45-degree angle. Hands in prayer position at your heart. Inhale here, and then exhale, bending the knees and coming into your malasana. So just watch my back there. I'm trying to keep my spine as upright as possible, rather than coming into this version of the pose. And having the elbows to the insides of the knees there will really help to stretch you up through the spine there and reach to the tip of the crown. And bringing the feet or the hands down behind you there. Have your blanket nearby if you need it. And we're just going to take Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet together, letting those knees drop out the side. It's kind of a nice pose to start your seated flow with. The kind of very grounding. It transitions you from your standing poses to your seated poses very well. Lengthening through the spine and using your arms again, like we did in the Malasana squat pose, as kind of your splints to help you reach through the spine there. So I find this pose great for finding that nice long spine, which can be quite tricky to find in some of your seated poses the minute you take some sort of a splint away from your spine. Okay, and then we're just going to take Dandasana. So our foundational pose for all of the seated poses. And then here's where you start to feel that it is actually quite tricky to sit upright without the spine wanting to curl forward. It wants to do this kind of a position and be just as energy efficient as possible. But this way, where I'm more upright, I'm tipping my pelvis, not particularly forward, but I'm trying to sit it up like it's a brick on its side there. And that way, all the muscles along my spine there are working. Press out through your heels there, have the legs nice and active. So Dandasana can be a really active pose. You can't hold it for that long if you're really activating all the muscles in your legs and your back. Now bend your right knee up. Place it just to the inside of the left leg there. Inhale to find length, and then exhale, just hinging forward to the inside of that leg. You can place your hand bind if you can take the bind, so that's reaching the right hand around and the left hand reaches to catch it, or you just place your hands to the outside of that right leg. Hug that right knee in towards you there. It'll help you just to keep more grounded down as you try to reach the spine forward. And then inhale to lift up tall through the spine, and exhale to take it into a twist. So hugging onto that right knee now, remembering to be as tall as possible through the spine here so that you can twist through an elongated spine. One more inhale here, and then exhale back to center. Just let that right leg just drop out to the side there for our next pose. Inhale to find length, and then exhale, gently walk the hands either side of that front leg there. Coming into a forward fold. I often find the single-legged forward folds a lot, I wouldn't say easier, forward folds are definitely my hard poses. But when you take the legs individually, it can be, you can find the forward fold a little bit better, or also you can find maybe there is instability or tightness in one leg, so you can let the other leg have its forward fold. I sometimes find by pointing that front leg there, the left leg, can help to get a little bit more of a tilt forward through the spine. You just never know where along the back body there might be a little ball of tension. And then we're going to open that left leg out to the side. So just literally walk the leg at a 45-degree angle. Inhale to find length, and then exhale, hinge over to the left-hand side, reaching the arm up and over, or just keeping it up. So often we just get too much into the ego, and we try to reach those toes with the top hand. That kind of turns it into a different pose. We want this to be a lateral bend, so let's just reach that arm up, palm facing towards the knee. And you can hold on to the inside of that left leg there. Doing that lovely stretch through the right side of the body here. Seeking to take a little bit more softness to the shoulders, even though they're working. And then coming back up. Lengthen both legs out. Now here's where you might find a blanket handy, just to sit on the blanket. It kind of helps to tilt the hips forward a little bit. Legs nice and wide here. I find it really helpful to bring my palms, the back of my hands, onto the insides of the legs here. There, it kind of reminds me to stay up tall through the spine, rather than bringing it into how far can my head come down to the ground. So remembering, it's all about the tilting of the pelvis rather than the rounding of the upper back. And here is my pose. So forward folds are definitely tricky for me, but it doesn't matter where you are in your forward fold, as long as you've found that little bit of sensation. And inhale to gently come up, and then we move all of that over to the other side. So we start with Dandasana. It's always good to find your symmetry first before you take it into the asymmetrical poses. So open the shoulders, and then bending the left leg up now. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, and then exhale, hinge to the inside of that leg now. Deciding if you're going to take your bind, wrapping the arms behind, or if you're just going to place that left hand just to the outside of that right leg, hug, or left leg, hug that left leg in now, and then reach the right arm forward too. Remembering again, the arms are kind of your splint, they're helping you. So place your fingertips on the ground and help to drag you forward, or kind of reach the top of the spine forward. Inhale to come up, lengthen through the spine, and we'll take it into our twist, hugging onto the left leg now with the right arm. Breathing. One more inhale here. And then exhale back to center. We're going to take it into our forward fold now. So just gently let that left leg drop out to the side. Inhale to find length, and then exhale, forward folding over that right leg now, any amount until you find sensation. And here is where I find plenty of sensation in the back of my hips now. Walk that right leg out to the side, 45 degrees. We're going to take it into our lateral bend now. Inhale to find length, and then exhale, hinge it over to the right-hand side now. See, can you ground down through that left hip there, and I really feel that stretch through the left side. And you can bring the arm up if you're bringing it too much over. It's a very strong stretch through the shoulder if you reach towards the hand. So let's just place the arm up like we did on the other side. Inhale to come up. Let's take one more forward fold. So pop yourself up on your blanket if you have one. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, and exhale, folding down. Using the hands either side of your inner calves to remind you to stay tall through the spine. One more inhale here. Feeling your grounding, feeling your calm. And then it's nice to place your hands underneath your knees just to help lift the legs up. We're ready to come down onto our backs now. There's an option there for a supported bridge, which can be nice. So if you have a blanket, you can pop it underneath your hips there. And just come into a very gentle supported bridge. Feet hip distance apart, palms facing up towards the ceiling. we're coming down towards our Shavasana part of our practice now. So I'm going to guide you through these last two poses, and then I'm going to leave you in your Shavasana as I sign off from the class. So hopefully you will stay in your practice in your Shavasana. Calming the system down now, really tapping into that parasympathetic nervous system. Lift the hips up slightly, pop the blanket out to the side if you've had one, and then just bring the feet hip or mat distance apart again, windscreen wide, the hips from side to side, the knees from side to side. And then just get yourself ready to set yourself up for your Shavasana, and you're going to stay there for as long as you have to complete your practice, which I hope will be at least 2 or 3 minutes. So thank you for practicing with me. If you have any questions, always happy to help. You can contact me at ruth@yogaru.ie. Enjoy your Shavasana.